Welcome to Content with Character, the weekly podcast that'll give you the momentum you need to create content with more ease, clarity, and laughter. I'm your host, content copywriter Emily Aborn, and I'm all about unconventional marketing approaches. I believe in your big ideas, and I'm excited to help you share them in a way that's distinctly you. What if you didn't feel like you were just shouting into a void? What if marketing was actually fun? Hello, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be exactly about that. We're going to be reimagining, repurposing, whatever you want to call it, reinvigorating a topic that I actually shared at a recent local event, Lean Into Community, which was at the Hannah Grimes Center in Keene, New Hampshire. Now, if you were there, and I know a few of you were, reminisce with me for a moment on how lovely and ease-filled the day was. It was beautiful. Just a wonderful day filled with connection and making new friends and feeling inspired by community. Truly glorious. Unicorns and rainbows all around. Now, if you were there, even if you got the gist of all this, I want to bring it to life in a new way. And if you weren't there, we missed you. But I really do think that it was an important message and really in line for what I'm focusing on this month and something I want to focus on more throughout my business. So it's also kind of meta because I like repurposing and I love turning podcasts into workshops and workshops into podcasts whenever they apply. So here we are bringing it back to life and making it something new. Today, we're going to address that feeling of when you feel like you are stuck, when you feel like you're shouting into a void, trapped in comparison, entangled with all the shoulds and strategies and opinions and feedback out there. It's like makes my head hurt just thinking about it. Is the answer really another strategy session? Is it another course? Is it another coach or opt-in? Are you taking feedback from the right people, the people who really see, understand you? Do you need more of something that is missing in your business, in your marketing, in your messaging? Or do you need to become less, maybe? Let's figure out what's really going on here. So this episode, my goal is to help you turn down some of this outer noise, remove the allure of chasing after these perfect solutions and strategies, and instead just help you get out there and start doing the work as you, as yourself. I think sometimes what really keeps us stuck in fear or feeling like maybe we don't have the permission to move forward is just giving ourselves permission to be ourselves. Now, maybe, just maybe, you don't need more advice. You don't need to start figuring out the drum beat that you want to dance to. Maybe you just need to start dancing. And that is what we're going to hopefully figure out today in our conversation. So if this is your first time listening, hello. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Emily Aborn. I'm your Not So Fearless podcast host. I'm also a small business copywriter and content marketing consultant. My goal is to help you get clear on how you best show up and express yourself online and throughout your marketing, in your communities, your networks, all of that jazz, so that you can do more of what works, more of what feels good, more of what is true to who you are. If you ever are like, ooh, I like this person and you want to connect, you can find all the links to do so in the show notes. Today, listen carefully to this part. There's going to be a fun quiz addition to the show notes. So get your butt over there and check out those extended show notes. It's like if you get lost, there's like a little pointy emoji pointing to where they are, or you can just find me, the podcast, all that stuff on my website at emilyaborn.com. How do you like my pitch there? All that stuff. Okay, personal story. I had a moment recently, I kid you not, somebody's brand colors online. It spawned like a full-on existential crisis for me. It all started with how many things start, innocently scrolling social media, a few swipes through that perfectly crafted carousel. And then all these questions started coming into my mind. I wonder what font they're using. I bet they're getting more business than me. I bet they're more successful than me. What have they got that I don't? Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I'm not enough. I started questioning myself, my message, my voice, my content, my website, everything. And most detrimentally, I would say myself, like who I am inside. Have you ever been there? Please tell me I'm not alone in this. Okay. Good. I see a couple of you nodding your heads and raising your hand. Phew. We often think that it is about like the branding or the content that somebody is posting or this obnoxious, unwavering consistency that our competitor has. But deep down, I think that what really is happening is that we are stirring to life feelings of not enoughness or too muchness. And for me, they're kind of one and the same. And then I start to wonder, well, am I just like this voice over here, just kind of like echoing into the void? Like, who even wants to listen to me, right? Look at all the pretty people. They're all just out there whizzing by me, whizzing by my message, ignoring you, not hearing you, not understanding you, not seeing you. Is there something wrong inside of us that others are getting these likes, these nods of approval, the success, the accolades? I mean, the list goes on and on. Okay, so let's stop the spiraling. Let's take a breath. Whew, I'm starting to feel a little bit better already, aren't you? Here is the thing. We are constantly bombarded with the noise, like both internal and external, on how we quote unquote should be going about this whole marketing thing, how we quote unquote should be showing up. I don't know about you, but I've often felt like, okay, can somebody just tell me the right thing to do, please? Or show me the right strategy or give me the right feedback so I can just share everything in the best way and express it clearly. We are often, in many cases, we're consuming more than we're actually executing, which then feels, well, let me start with this. It feels safer to do that. It feels concrete. It feels solvable. Like, okay, great. I can just hide behind all this strategy, all this figuring out the next step, instead of actually courageously taking any sort of action in expressing myself, in being myself. So at the end of the day, this is just like a lot of shame. It solidifies, I think, into fear and failure, and the roller coaster continues round and round and round. So I want to encourage us, first of all, in that we don't actually need to scream louder. We don't need to sparkle more. We don't really need to sparkle at all, in fact, if that's not our thing. And you definitely don't need to become some sort of very talented chameleon in order to market your business and in order to be seen and heard. Instead, what we really need to do is we need to come back to who we are. Come back to who you are. Not the perfectly curated social media version of you who you've sometimes convinced yourself that you are. This is not this will perform if I just do this exact little song and dance version of you. This is actually the version of you that is real and original and from a place that expresses yourself, your truth, if you will, with confidence, because it is so grounded in who you are. Personally, I believe that when we come from this place, it makes it more enjoyable. And when we enjoy doing something, whether it be a health habit or a marketing habit, we're more likely to be consistent with it and keep on showing up. And I will go so far as to say that I do think marketing, when done authentically, that word is so overused, but when it's done our way, it actually can be really, really, really fun. And I understand full well that business, marketing, decision-making, it's not always easy. Like, it's so funny to me when people are always saying, get out of your comfort zone. But I'm like, I blew out of that like day one. The day I started my business, there was no more comfort zone. So I want to bring it back to, well, where can we actually get into our comfort zone a little bit more? Because I think there it starts to become a lot less complicated and we can start to really find a flow actually in the way that we're showing up and in our marketing and the way we're running our entire business. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a question to reflect on. And there's going to be a lot of information that will come out of that very, very specific question. And then if you want, you can go to those extended show notes and do the mini quiz that I'm going to have associated with this episode. But I think you'll get a lot of info from this single question. And then we'll get into what that kind of could look like in your marketing. So think back for a moment to how you liked to express yourself as a kid, and I want you to think which of these sounds the most like you. So don't overthink it. Don't hold me to every single last word or try to fit a description perfectly. Just go with what feels the most accurate to you. Okay. A, I liked to observe, imagine, and create quietly. Sometimes I was off in my own world, writing stories or talking to one or two close friends. B, I was the life of the party and always entertaining, creating skits, singing, dancing, performing, and I could always almost be found off on a new adventure. C, I loved organizing, inventing games with and for friends, introducing people, helping everyone to feel included. D, I pushed boundaries, a rebel with or without a cause. I challenged rules, I asked why a lot, and I wasn't ever afraid to stir the pot. So you can rewind if you want to hear those again. Feel free to go back and listen. And I know we've all changed a lot, most likely, since we were kids. Like, I can no longer wear the same Yokiro Taco Bell shirt 6 days in a row nowadays. And no one makes me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches anymore. But a lot of the answers as to how we naturally express ourselves can be found in looking back. So, do you have yours? Did you decide A, B, C, or D for yourself? And like I said, feel free to go back and listen to them again, and I'll break them all down for you moving forward. So we're going to go through these 4 different expression types, and you'll see how we can actually let more of our inner world be the guide in how we express ourselves outwardly. Couple caveats here. Remember, you are most likely a mixture of several of these. We are all multifaceted human beings. We're not robots. We don't fit into tidy algorithms, and we exist on a spectrum of all things. So keep that in mind. And most importantly, listen for the ways that you can be empowered in who you are and feel good in your marketing as you choose avenues and places that light you up and give you energy. So take what you want, bless and release the rest. And for the record, I made these up. I am a personality quiz nerd. I like analogies and frameworks. Now, I decided for some weird reason to use electrical terminology despite not having the slightest idea about anything electrical except how to plug in the toaster and turn on the oven. But I do know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. Anyway, all that to say, just go with my electrical terminology. I had one idea and then I just went for it. So now you have to just go for it with me. All right, let's start with A, the quiet magnet. So if you answered A, this is the quiet magnet. And this is like the person who cringes when somebody just wants to talk about the weather or make small talk. Like, you bite your nails just thinking about making small talk. If this is you, chances are you like to go deep. You're very grounded, real. You have a lot of depth. And it may take you a little bit of time to build trust with others. It may also take you a little bit of time to put yourself out there or to draw other people into your world. Sometimes you need to warm up a little bit before you share your insights and perspectives with just anyone. Now, the quiet magnet does not need the spotlight, or they don't tend to crave the spotlight. They instead prefer thoughtful conversations, writing, soulful connections. That is going to be how they really connect and make their imprint. Your strength as a quiet magnet lies in depth, not decibels. And so if this is you, lean into this, because believe me, the world needs more of this quiet magnet energy. Give yourself grace in that it is going to take you a little bit more time to pull people in and to get them on board with what you're doing. If you like smaller, cozier groups, one-to-one conversations, coffee chats, intimate settings, stick to them. Stick to those as your primary spots for building relationships. When you use social media or other content marketing, bring in like a conversational voice and allow people into that depth, that knowledge, while still keeping it relatable and relevant, obviously, to who you're sharing with, and also where. And one way to do that, if you're getting stuck, is to use the actual lingo or verbiage of people interested in your offers would be using. So I always say, many people say, not my unique phrase, if you confuse, you lose. And remember that some people are just like bobbing along on the surface. So if you do try to show the inner depths of your soul, sometimes it can be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So try to kind of meet them in the middle there. And one superpower of the quiet magnet is sharing wisdom and insights and helping others to really feel seen and heard. So take that superpower and run with it. And lastly, a word to the quiet magnets. Do not focus on doing more. Focus on getting better and going deeper on what you're doing. Don't put all your eggs into one basket, and also try to lean into some strengths that you have in a new way too. So don't be afraid to try new things. Next up, B. If you answered B, we're going to go ahead and call you the spark plug. Vibrant, expressive, likes to be in motion as often as possible. These folks tend to tilt higher on the extroversion scale, and they don't shy away from group settings, maybe even being the one that's in charge, in front of that electrically buzzing room. You are magnetic in a bit of a louder way, maybe make a joyful way, positive way. You don't mind a little spontaneity. So here are some reminders for you, dear spark plugs. First of all, it is a total gift in and of itself to be the one bringing energy and enthusiasm to the room and conversation. So remember, that is your gift. Lean into networking and meeting people in person or in groups, whenever you can. Whatever lights you up, follow that. Show your face. Show that electric sparkle. It might look like larger groups or speaking engagements or video or workshops. Whatever that is for you, follow the thread of excitement. A lot of your showing up is going to be expressive and outward focused, but don't forget to speak to people like you are just speaking to one person at a time. Speak to people like individuals. It's always better to speak to everyone even in a crowd as a you versus a you all. So remember that. And then do build on that outgoing, vivacious, energetic warmth that you have, and let it open up new doors to adventures and possibilities. And when you find something that works, stick with it. But of course, don't be afraid to seize the day and be spontaneous and check out new opportunities. But I would say that don't overload your plate with so many different things that you lose consistency and momentum. You are going to want to focus a little bit so that you can have more of that balance, especially when there's literally excitement everywhere you look. Okay, and then C is going to be our C for connector cables. The ultimate collaborator and community bridge builder. This is the person who spots patterns, links ideas, helps other people to connect the dots. You tend to be very loyal to clients, people, causes you can stand behind, and you don't easily jump from one thing to the next, because building strong relationships and sturdy foundations, that is what matters to you. That said, that is a major strength. You know that this is a long game, and you're in it alongside others for the long game as well. You love to be the one guiding conversations, facilitating breakthroughs, inspiring those aha moments, and making people feel included and like it was done just for them. Your perspective is in your power is going to be in your perspective and your ability to weave things together. For the connectors, don't underestimate the power of connecting people. That is a huge way to leave your imprint in the world, and you really can change someone's life through one single introduction. And also, your life can be changed through one single introduction as well. Ask me how I know. Secondly, do emphasize and highlight that ability to collaborate and connect people. I sometimes have this way of bringing people's ideas out that they didn't even know that they had by simply connecting the dots. Now, that is a marketable skill. I'm not even kidding. It is a major value add and credibility builder. So if you're a connector cable, look at how you're doing that. And even if you're doing it naturally, it is still something that you can add as a benefit to working with you. Find collaborators that align with your values and fill strengths that you don't have. So really the goal should be to build and grow things together, bring in people that fill voids that you might have. And then shine and share spotlights on other people, of course, but don't forget yourself. You are also running a business, and you also need to turn the spotlight on yourself. Take it from me, fellow connector cable here. We're keeping the lights on, so turn the spotlight on yourself once in a while. The other thing you often connect is dots, and I know you offer a lot of great solutions. You guide people to solutions, so just remember that. Instead of telling people what to do, Your superpower is going to be best used in guiding people to their own inner wisdom, guiding them to solutions. Also, remember that some people don't want solutions. They don't want feedback. They don't want advice. They don't want opinions. They just want to vent. They just want to be heard. And make sure you're paying attention to when that is happening too. You often see both sides, and in many cases, you're able to see patterns. So really use this as a strength because it makes you very relatable. It makes you well-liked. It makes you very open-minded. And it makes you a great resource for teaching and guiding and creating and helping. And then last, but most certainly not least, we have the disruptors. D for disrupt. This is starting to remind me of a Sesame Street episode. Today was brought to you by the letter D, disruptor. Okay. Now we have some C words. Courage, clarity, conviction. Those will be 3 words we'll use to sum up the disruptor. You're challenging norms, you're asking bold questions, you're not afraid to say the things that nobody else is willing to say. You like to kind of shake things up and create momentum and start movements, all of that jazz. So these are going to be folks who are often found saying words like unapologetic, or their actions are going to be kind of unapologetic, right? Shaking up those norms. They often have a lot of confidence, which is a huge strength when it comes to selling their products or services. Big gift there. And you likely have this natural magnetism and lure. People are very drawn to the courageous. People are very drawn to confidence and to bold. So you're able to kind of lean into that as a way to naturally pull people in. You also use platforms that you show up on to make a little noise, to create momentum, like I said, to show what you do differently and how you think outside the box. You might fancy yourself a thought leader from time to time. So the key for you is really going to be not to sit around and wait for other people to make the moves, other people to invite you in. You are going to want to proactively reach out and invite yourself, basically. Create the things, pitch the things, offer the things, make the ask, create what you think should exist. So to sum it all up, I'm actually just going to give you a couple of ideas for each type in the actual marketing world. Like, how could each of these actually play out in our marketing? Because I want it to feel fun. And I feel like it could be like one big marketing playground if we let it. This all said, I am going to have an episode soon on a little bit more about platforms and really helping us to figure out where we want to be showing up and how much time we want to be giving to those platforms in all different avenues, whether it be networking, whether it be social media platforms. So we're going to get into that in an episode before June is done here. But today we're going to get into the marketing playgrounds. So marketing playgrounds that are probably most attractive to the quiet magnets. That was if you answered A in our little mini reflection. The quiet magnet marketing playgrounds, long form writing, maybe think like blogs or newsletters or thoughtful captions. Or one thing I'm seeing right now on Instagram is carousel posts that have a long form caption, but it's actually like a swipe through carousel. Love those. Intimate workshops or small group circles, especially when there's discussion or Q&A or interaction, right? Coffee chats, podcast guesting or podcast hosting, especially interview style or reflective formats, personalized emails. This is just like I have built an entire relationship on back and forth email, getting to know each other the old fashioned way, like pen pals. It is amazing. And then quieter social platforms, kind of like Pinterest or places where you might post quotes or insights. I actually could even see Threads being a good avenue for this. And then, of course, collaborations with like-hearted people and really building those long-term trusting relationships. All right, let's give the spark plugs some playgrounds, shall we? I'm thinking like Instagram stories and Reels and TikTok. Those are, and maybe YouTube, like the place where you are like lighting it up, right? Lighting it up online. Public speaking, live workshops, those are also going to be really good for you. I do think podcast interviews and hosting would be good, or video series might be great, a course, that kind of thing. Challenges, events, summits. Running a Facebook group might be a relevant spot for you, or leading a discussion, engaging in-person networking events or pop-ups. And then think like behind the scenes stuff, day in the life stuff. People love that kind of thing from you. Also hosting mini experiences or energizing giveaways. Anything that lights you up, really, is what you should be doing. For the connector cables, some marketing playgrounds, collaborations are going to be collaborations are a huge form of marketing, and we should do another episode on that soon. But I love collaborations. Also, affiliate marketing is a great one for you, like things you really believe in, causes and even softwares that you really strongly stand behind. Strategic partners, co-led workshops, that kind of thing. Referral programs or word of mouth initiatives. I also love masterminds or smaller curated group spaces for you. Community building in like, again, Facebook groups or Voxer chats or Mighty networks, that kind of thing. And then teaching style content that gives like resources and self-reflection and frameworks that people can adapt and make their own. Also being a guest expert for other people's programs, which may also look like podcast guesting, and thoughtful places where you can be more thoughtful in the comments, like forums or shared documents, that kind of thing. And lastly, the disruptor marketing playgrounds. Lastly, but not leastly, I'm talking like bold social media posts that speak your truth, that challenge norms, that show your thought leadership, leading a movement or a campaign or an event that has never been done before, doing lives or in the moment kind of video. Sort of some of the same as that spark plug, right? Rants, unpopular opinions, hot takes. Don't forget to say how yours is different, though. How yours is different. Like, don't just rant online, please. Sales pages, offers, copy that really stirs emotions. Pitching yourself to podcasts, to media, to be on stages. Pitching your articles as guest articles. Hosting your own anti-webinar or like some spicy opt-in. And then I think any sort of marketing that has like an element of surprise is actually going to be really, really good for you to express your creativity. Anything personality based, I think, is a very good marketing playground for you. Okay, so to really figure out which style you are most like and where you really want to show up, what I would encourage you first is to take that little mini quiz that's in the show notes. Just follow the little pointy arrow emoji or whatever it is. I don't know, it's a finger. And it says extended show notes. So there's like more questions you can ask yourself. But then I would encourage you in this. First of all, don't put yourself in a box of this quiz, okay? Don't put yourself in a box of this episode. Get to know yourself as much as you can, as in depth as you can. And don't just assume like, oh, I'm an introvert or, oh, I'm an extrovert, so I can only do this. Like really listen to yourself. Pay attention to when you show up, when you are energized, when you are drained, what things were like, oh, that worked. That did not work for me. What was I trying to really force that wasn't actually like me at all? Do try new things. Take notes about the experience. Observe yourself. Do a little post-mortem, right? What worked? What didn't work? It takes all hands on deck in my experience, like not just thinking about the things, not just getting the things, not just getting more strategy or another opt-in or another quiz or another guide. Really takes listening to your heart. Also paying attention to your body. Like a lot of the excitement and energy comes physically through our bodies. And also listening to our mind and using our logic and our strategy and our sense, right? So I think, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship and definitely when you have to market yourself as an entrepreneur, it is some of the best self-development that there is. And marketing is one of the ways that I feel like you have to come to head with all of the wonderful parts of yourself and all of the really dark parts of yourself. But you then get the opportunity to step into and allow who you really are to come through. And I think that once you do that, once you figure out where you really want to be showing up and how you really want to be showing up and just let those strengths shine, it gets so much easier and so much more fun from there. So in closing, a couple of just reminders for you. Remember, you don't need to impress to express. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room, the coolest person in the room. You don't have to be the quietest person in the room. You don't have to be the newest thing, okay? You just have to be the truest, the most you, the youest, we'll call it. So before taking on something in your marketing, before deciding, you know what, I'm going to try this thing, or sharing, next time you go to share, ask yourself, is this me? And then ask yourself, does it invite connection with who I want to be speaking to? And then you may also ask yourself, like, well, is it kind and is it true? And would I like to keep on repeating this thing? That's how you can really start to guide yourself in what is going to be most effective for you, what is going to be most consistent for you, and also what is going to be most fun and true to you. Flashy, it burns out. Shiny, it gets dull. Loudness, it fades. So do not try to be shinier. Do not try to copy somebody else. Just focus on being real. Focus on your strengths. Real lasts. It lingers. It sticks. It's sustainable. And it builds and grows deep roots in your community, with your clients, and with your collaborators. And that is, I don't know about you, but that is what I came here for, is the long game, the long-term relationships. So, okay, on that note, I'm going to leave you to do some self-exploration this week. And next week, we're actually going to do a mid-year marketing checkup. And then we have some fun platform conversations after that. So don't go anywhere. I will chat with you next week. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Content with Character. If you loved the episode, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and share it with someone else you know it could help. For more content and visibility tips, visit my blog at emilyaborn.com. And be sure to connect with me on Instagram at emilyaborn. I'd love to hear how this inspired you to take action.